We're several weeks away from the last time we did your testing. In the interim, you've been working on a couple of strategies to help to connect your lower right leg with your brain. Tell us what you've been doing for your exercises.
Both feet trying to lift my foot for 2 minutes. And honestly, I can tell you, I didn't at all feel that this foot was moving, but it's
When we
starting.
started,
Yes, but it's starting to just want to do something now. Like even if it's just going kind of sideways, it's trying. So
okay? And
I,
you're doing that exercise with the pulse device on.
yes.
Good. Okay, what else have you been doing?
And then I go and stand by the wall and do the wall touches, 30 of them with my feet together.
Yep. So you're swaying back and then trying to draw yourself forward without bumping yourself forward off of the wall. You're also doing that with the pulse device on.
Right.
Good. The pulse device is set at a medium intensity for you, and it's set to be, let's just say, instrumented over the muscles in the front of your lower right leg, which is the side affected from your stroke. Is all that correct?
It's kind of medium high because I
Medium
like to
high.
feel it. Yeah.
Okay. And the last thing we need to know, because we're talking about what you're doing, so we call that in terms of dosage, we call that the type of dosage. We've also talked about the intensity of what you're doing and the volume. We talked about repetitions, but I want you to tell how frequently have you been doing those exercises?
Every day except for one for
Okay.
the last, I think, what, 2 weeks,
Yep.
3 weeks.
And the prescription was to try to see if you can do it 5 days per week, and you've hit 7, with exception of 1 week, one of the days.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay, so if in fact it's been 21 days, you've hit 20 days to be clear. Now, we had a very clear methodology. We followed a precise order for how we tested you previously. I'm going to pull up my record of that, and I know you're very comfortable with this now and you found that the program, the Sway program is very intuitive, but I'm going to pull up my record of it, and I'm going to let you guide us into a re-examination using that same methodology, the same procedure, process, sequence, technique.
Okay, I go to dashboard profile and then I go to all profiles and then I go to take test, which is right where I'm at on my phone now. And I'm going to click on that and I'm going to change it from screening to assessment, go to baseline. Okay. And then the hardware part is done. Now I finish and instructions. Okay, here we go. Start. This is where I hold it and feet together, eyes open, right?
Yes, ma'am, on a firm surface.
So that was the first one. So
and
now,
that's in practice mode.
yeah, and it says now eyes closed.
Okay, that's okay. Practice the eyes closed one.
Now I'm on test one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here we go. Feet together, eyes open.
Good.
Okay.
Now, what we did with our protocol is we repeated that. So
So
that
I
was, we did 30 seconds, eyes open, firm, shoulder width, and then we repeated it. And then we did 30 seconds, eyes closed, firm surface, feet shoulder width, and then we repeated that.
so this is eyes open again.
That is correct.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh, okay. And now this one is the eyes closed.
We'll do 2 in a row of eyes closed.
Okay.
Got it.
Finish test one.
Okay, Diana, before I show you the results of your testing on February 6th and your testing today, 19 days later, what are your expectations? If your composite score was a 71 19 days ago. What do you predict your score is today?
Well, I hope it's better than 71, but because I've been doing those exercises, but I felt like the eyes closed one would have been worse today because I was
Okay.
sweating. So,
All right, so let's see. Now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so now what you're looking at is your baseline screening. And as it says at the top, February 6th, 2026, 4:25 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay? We'll all be in agreement that that's exactly what we did then. And there's your composite score of a 71. All right, now I'm going to move the screen. Today's score was an 84.
oh,
So that's a 13-point jump, which is nearly 0.75 points of improvement per day. Almost a point per day improvement, right? Now let's look at the details. Here's that 71. Okay, now as you look down through these, remember the descriptors won't be accurate
correct. Yeah,
because you and I did feet together, eyes open, and then feet together, eyes open again, and then feet together, eyes closed. And then we tried to do feet together, eyes closed again, but you had some difficulty there.
yeah.
So that's fine. It gave you a total score of 70.62, which it rounded up to 71. But
Okay.
you'll notice that your score there of the, let's see, 83.49 was remarkable then. That was your lowest score.
Uh-huh.
All right. Now, if we go back to today, these are your scores today. Let's see. All right, here we go. So you did have the first time you tried your eyes closed was challenging. That went all
Yeah,
the way down to the 49.
yeah.
And that just tells us that the system's accurate. It's representing your experience. Your composite score is an 84, which is made up of a very stable, nearly perfect eyes open. And then you nearly replicated that again with the second eyes open. You felt challenged with the eyes closed. We don't practice eyes closed in your exercises. That's I'm going to come back to that point in a second. But then your second eyes closed went to 89. And that
Okay.
second score of 89 with eyes closed, if you look at the details again, is actually better than you did 3 weeks ago with, and that was actually an eyes open score there. Or eyes, yeah, your eyes closed to eyes closed improved by 6 points right there from the 83 to the 89. Now, why is all this important? Well, you're seemingly working on activities that would translate well to eyes open balance. I'm working on using that muscle more. I'm working on leaning back and recovering from leaning back. All that's done with eyes open. How did you possibly improve into something that's so dissimilar from eyes open practice to eyes closed practice? You had to have improved your sense of where your body is because we shut your sight down. Your sense of where your body is and your ability to control that using, and again, it's oversimplified, the lower leg muscles on your right leg have improved to the point where even when we make it more difficult and close your eyes, you still have an elevated sense of where your body is. So now you can tolerate eyes closed better. Now it's your turn. What do you see from this data? What do you reflect from this in terms of what impression do you get?
My impression is I need to practice more with my eyes closed, just basic stuff during the day here, even if it's like I'm brushing my teeth or curling my hair or whatever. I think that would probably help.
I agree with you. And you are exactly right that you could put it inside convenient places of your day. We call that habit stacking. I was already going to brush my teeth. I'll try a few moments with eyes closed. I was already going to curl my hair. I'll try a few moments with eyes closed. Absolutely.
The toes curling give me more stability. And so I think the more comfortable I get with doing even these exercises or the tests that we did, when I first started, I'm anxious and my toes are curled under. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think that makes a difference in my balance too.
Okay,
So
that's
I
an
think
excellent point. So you
makes
practice and improve, you reduce the psychological wariness and fear going into a test, and you could improve that with exposure to eyes closed.
like with you telling me with other exercises I've done, the more repetitive it is, the more natural it becomes. And then my toes don't do that as much.
That's
Um,
right. Your toes curling is a sign of alarm, and not one that we can pretend doesn't happen, and not one that we can tell you stop letting that happen. It actually has to be, oh, this is no longer alarming. I've been there. I've done that. You've suggested to add some eyes closed to your day. Would you want to, from this point, add some eyes closed to your exercise program?
sure. Yeah.
So it could be that half of your lean backs against the wall, you start the first half with eyes open, 15 of them, and you
Okay.
do the sum of, if not all of, the last 15 as eyes closed. You haven't added any time, you've just added an opportunity.
Okay.
What else would you say about two things that we have to discuss before we wrap up? Number one, what has the Pulse device done for you, if anything? This is totally your thoughts.
It puts my attention down there so that like when I'm trying to do the toe lifts or the foot lifts, the sensation's making me realize more about that leg. Otherwise, it's just, I'm just doing it, and the one I pay attention to is the one that's my left foot that's coming up. But the pulse thing is making me go, oh yeah, there. I can feel that it's doing something.
So it's
So it is
giving you a precise connection with the muscle that you're trying to relearn how to activate.
not lifting my toes for sure, but it kind of makes my foot go sideways a little bit, like it wants to follow what the
Yeah.
left foot is doing. It just gives me that sensation of, okay, my foot's doing something over there, even though, normally I don't pay attention that it's doing anything. Here recently, I've noticed it's starting to tip a little bit, like wanting to come up.
So you're experiencing some hope and some evidence that it's starting to move. Now tell us about the Sway device.
Well, at first it was difficult to figure out the application because it wasn't intuitive to me. Maybe computer people or app people are more intuitive to that, but I couldn't get it to work right. But now that I've kind of gone through it with you and you got step-by-step directions, now I can figure that out. I think it probably is pretty accurate from looking at today's results.
Yeah.
Because I know the first eyes closed, I was really wobbly. So
Yeah.
I think that part of it really shows that I am off balance when I close my eyes.
Yeah. It didn't just sell you a story, it was accurate and it's accountable. Diana, how important is it, because you and I are 700 and some odd miles apart, how important is it for you to have something that you can rely on that truly tells you, as an honest arbitrator, you're getting better, here's the real score, rather than an opinion? Bob says, oh, hey, honey, you look like you're more stable. You look like you're walking better today. How important is it to have numbers?
It is important to me because, for example, when I used to come see you in person, I had your feedback right then. But now in Zoom, we can't be in the same room and you get that kind of feedback, even though you can kind of see some of what I'm doing. This at least gives me that feedback that I need to keep continuing on.
So combining that pulse, connect my body, with the Sway, is this working, has truly been a very simple experiment that has benefited you.
I believe so. I use the pulse when I have a sore muscle or a calf cramp, or, in the evenings when I sit down, sometimes I put it on my quad, whatever I've done that I've overdone that day. So I'm not just using it for the exercises that you have given me. Well, and then the Sway app is the feedback, I guess, that we need from the other parts of the exercises that I've been doing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we'll move forward and attempt to modify your program. You'll continue the lift the foot exercise. I'm going to come back to that in a second. You're going to modify the lean against the wall to just take half of those as eyes closed experiences. And then if we modify the lift the foot exercise, you have an option to either keep it all the same, or you can make one of two modifications. When I describe the two modifications, I want you to choose whether you want to make modification 1, 2, or keep it the same. Ready? Currently, you're sitting and lifting both feet up. Pulse device is on your right leg, your affected side. One option is to lift both feet up on half of the trials, and half of the trials, see if the right leg can do something without the mirror assistance of the left. That's option 1. Okay. Option 2 is you add some trials laying down, feet outstretched on the couch behind you, feet up on a pillow, etc. You change the position that you're trying to elicit movement, and now you're doing it stretched out, knees straight, lying down, feet are elevated so you can see your feet. That's option number 2. Option number 3 is no changes. What do you choose?
I'd like to try number 1, where I just do the right foot.
Okay, so some of the trials it's both, and then some of the trials it's just right.
Yeah, I'd like to see if I can make it move without the other foot mirror, showing it what to do, I guess.
What about the frequency? We recommended 5 days per week, and over the last 19 days, you've done the exercises 18 times rather than just basically 15 times.
Seems to be, I mean, if I get up in the morning and do it first thing, then I'm good to go. But, here we're going to be going here, and we're not going to be home all the time, but I can still do them when I'm somewhere else.
Both of those exercises do travel nicely.
I'm doing almost 7 days a week, but 6 days a week would probably make me successful, because I only had 1 day I missed of the 1 week.
Let's set a goal for 5. If you exceed it and make 6, if you exceed that and make 7, it's great. Diana, it's March 24th. We tested today the same way we tested you on February 25th. And we also tested you in a more difficult experience, feet together today, then we tested you on February 6th because you weren't quite ready for feet together on February 6th. We have 3 tests of you as you're recovering from a foot fracture and, let's just say, more than a decade since a stroke that affected your right leg more than your right arm. All that's accurate, correct?
Yes.
Now, we're using the Sway app. You've been placing your phone up against your chest to measure you. We've been using a very unique, novel intervention to help you improve your sense of balance while your foot fracture has kept you from being as active as you normally prefer. Is all that accurate?
Correct.
Now let's briefly state what you've been doing. We've been having you use the pulse device as a vibratory tool to help you get a sense of where the front of your lower leg muscles are. We call them your pretibial muscles, your dorsiflexors, your shin muscles, if you will. And you've been using that pulse device basically 5 to 7 days per week over the entirety of this trial. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's a month and a half. And you've been using a balance activity of leaning back against a wall and recovering back from a lean back position while the pulse device is on as well, right?
Yes.
So one exercise with the pulse device on, we modified that exercise over the course of this that was in sitting, and one exercise lying down. Diana, what was the modification that we made last time I met you because you needed an upgrade?
For the foot flexes, we were doing, well, I think you said 2 minutes, but what I was doing was 15 raises, foot raises with both feet, and then I did 15 with just the right foot. And although I don't see much movement with the foot, I can feel that it's trying to.
Okay. And you feel like the pulse device adds something to your sense of where that body part is.
Where I need to lift it and I think it's trying to. So it's getting a little more movement each day. I've been using it every day. So each day it's getting a little more movement.
Are you ready to hear about your test results now?
Sure. Yes.
You haven't heard about these yet. I can see them on my phone. So we can do a remote therapeutic monitoring, which is a term that therapists would be familiar with. Here are your results from February 6th. On February 6th, you received a composite score. Doesn't really matter what the values or units are. The Sway app rated you as a 71 out of 100. And remember, that's actually with your feet apart. We decided that you were ready to advance the difficulty. So we increased the difficulty on February 25th. And even though we made the test harder, you scored a composite score of 84. Now that's combining all four of your scores. And in that one, the first time you stood with your eyes closed, you had a score of a 49.59. That was your first time doing eyes closed, which brought your score down, but it was still better than the 71. Recall, you scored an 84 combining all four tests. Now, what were the four tests? We did 2 repetitions of stand still, feet together, eyes open. We followed that with 2 repetitions of stand still, feet together, eyes closed. The Sway app gave us the opportunity to modify the normal methodology of eyes open, eyes closed, and then go onto a cushion, eyes open and eyes closed. We wanted to get a rigorous and reliable test. Here's today. Today, your composite score was not 71, like it was on February 6th. It was not 84 like it was on February 25th. It was 98.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, awesome. This is what's particularly interesting. You did 2 tests of eyes open on which you scored a 99 and a 98. That's eyes open, feet together. Then you did 2 tests of eyes closed, feet together, on which you scored a 96 and a 97. All right, we've got some actual data there. You didn't score as well with eyes closed as you did with eyes open. You weren't supposed to. Nobody should. You more than doubled your first score of eyes closed with your today's scores of eyes closed. I should take that back. Mathematically, barely less than doubled it. You went from a 49 to a 96.8. Technically, that's a 98 would be doubling it. You almost doubled it. So I'm going to hold this up to see the record here. I believe this will be viewable. Right there. That's your composite score of 98. And then all of those scores, my phone timed out. There we go. And all of your scores together.
Well, I'm surprised because I didn't think I could feel myself swaying with my eyes closed.
We want you to be able to feel yourself sway, though. That's good.
I could feel that. And so I thought, oh, it's not going to be very good. I've been working really hard on, and I think the practicing of trying to do it every day has made a big difference. The device on, I can feel my leg if I'm shifting, going back to the one where against the wall. But yeah, I'm excited that it was that good because I'm now finally, after my broken foot, getting back to feeling like I'm making progress again. Because I feel like I felt like I was behind all the progress we made, and then I broke my foot, and for 6 months I wasn't able to really do much. So
does this give you any confidence that translates out into the world, or is it just about balance when you're leaning backwards and standing and you've got a door behind you? Does it transfer or does it stay with?
Oh, no, because I find myself walking around the kitchen more than I did after my foot because I was afraid that I wasn't confident it was back to normal, I guess. And I'm walking like from the porch to the golf cart, which is down some steps and into my golf cart. And before I had to like hang on to something because I wasn't confident. So I'm getting back to where I was, I feel.
How much does it help you to know that it's a independent, third party, not my opinion, measurable device that is going to hold us both accountable? How much does it help you to know that my score is what my score is? Nobody's manipulating this.
Yeah, that makes me feel good because I could say, oh, yeah, I did these exercises every day, but I wouldn't feel like keeping going if I didn't have some kind of feedback, something to go
Yeah.
forward to. I don't look on here. I mean, I'm going to try after we get off here to see
Yeah.
if
I'll show you how to find it.
pull them up on my phone. I keep these devices charged, and first thing in the morning, I sit down and I start doing this so that it gives me a little bit of energy to try other things the rest of the day. So
Why do you think the pulse device helps you?
because I can feel the muscle down there. I can feel that it's moving or that it's doing what it's supposed to, where without it on, I don't have that sensation.
So, number one, you get a bonus or a benefit that increases potentially the effectiveness of the exercises because you have the sensation of the pulse device.
Like immediate feedback. Like I
Yeah.
don't have to look at something to see whether, it's actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing with the exercises. It's more immediate. Like I can, oh yeah, I guess it is helping me move my foot.
So there's number one, you get sensation. How much of a benefit is it to you that you can apply this yourself and not have to go to a clinic or have your husband apply it?
Oh, that's what's keeping me doing it every day. Because if I had to do something where it would required help, that I probably wouldn't. I would have to set up an appointment, or I have to make sure my husband was home, and this way I can do it myself. It's like when I want to do it, not when it's arranged around somebody else's schedule.
And final question. How much of a benefit is it that it's also not just something you can do, but something that takes you seconds to put on?
Oh yeah, it's very quick and easy once I figured it out. And I even use it like if I've done a lot of work doing just whatever, gardening or what around the house. In the evenings, I put it on my calf or I put it on my thigh just to give it some kind of a massage to
Yeah.
actually, and it makes my muscles feel better.
So
So
you like the benefit of it even beyond the exercise and what we call motor control, connect body to brain type of consideration.
yes.
So I don't have any more questions for you, but I have to actually just take a moment to think about one final element. And I want to just say this out loud to you. If this was all just about you practicing balance exercises, you would have gotten better from February 6th to February 25th. Okay. And then at some point, the amount of improvement that just comes from this is familiar to me should have waned. You should be plateauing. You shouldn't be increasing as much. Okay. Because you went from no familiarity with the exercise to being familiar. Anybody's going to get better playing a piano if they start to practice. But how much more are you going to get better if you continue to practice? Well, hard to say. It went from novel to familiar. And how much more are you going to get better when it just continues to be familiar? Here's the big thing. You improved 13 points from 71 to 84 from improving your familiarity. You improved 14 points from 84 to 98 as it continued to be familiar. It's not just a practice effect from novelty, from I have no idea what I'm doing to I have an idea. You continue to improve and improve more. How does that make you feel?
Good. Yeah, that does. I'm actually considering because my toes do the claw thing with it, of using my toe spreaders and trying it.
Oh, I like it. You innovate. You are the prescriber of your best dosage and uh, pathway or direction. I love it.
Because it would keep my foot flat where it
Yeah.
wouldn't be like this. So
Yeah. So smart.
I'm
So smart.
curious if that would work, but I want to try it.
If you have belief in it, I have no doubt that it will. I know you.